Yankees fans, buckle up because the Bronx is already rumbling with the kinds of moves that turn an off-season into a full-blown spectacle. Every winter comes with questions, but this time the Yankees are juggling decisions that can completely reshape the outfield, the rotation, and even the long-term payroll strategy. And it all starts with a move that surprised plenty of people around the league. Out of nowhere, Trent Grisham decided that staying in pinstripes for one more year was the right call, signing off on a qualifying offer worth $22 million. That decision landed like a thunderclap for the Yankees front office because it immediately gave them stability in center field, yet suddenly raised a brand new set of complications. Grisham is coming off the kind of season players dream about. He blasted more than 30 home runs, stayed healthy, played over 140 games, and put together an on-base plus slugging that reminded everyone why he was once considered one of the most dynamic outfielders in the league. The Yankees valued that clearly. They want him back. They just were not sure he would take the qualifying offer at that number. The reality is, the move does more than bring back a productive bat. It directly affects everything related to Cody Bellinger, their top priority of the winter. With Grisham locked in for one more year, the Yankees have immediate depth in center field, even if Bellinger chooses a different team. But it also tightens the financial picture because now a huge slice of payroll is already committed before the Yankees even address the rest of the roster. And here is where things get even more interesting. Even though the outfield suddenly feels crowded, the Yankees insist that their pursuit of Bellinger has not changed. They want him back. They continue to talk to his agent. They are not backing off. They picture a lineup where both sluggers return, and if that happens, it opens a completely different set of possibilities. The moment both players are locked in, young talents like Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones suddenly become part of the business conversation. Not because the Yankees do not believe in them, but because having so many outfielders with similar roles forces the team to decide whether it is time to cash in on prospect value to strengthen other areas. Of course, if Bellinger signs elsewhere, Dominguez is right back in the mix to take over left field, with Jones battling for a role during spring camp. That is the kind of internal competition the Yankees love, but everything hinges on the dominoes still falling. One detail that cannot be ignored is why Grisham accepted the qualifying offer at all. Most players do not take that route unless they believe the long-term market is cloudy. And with talks of a possible labor issue in a couple of years, some players have quietly decided that securing a strong one-year deal now is safer than gambling on the unpredictable. Still, this choice puts the Yankees in a tight payroll situation. With Grisham making more than $22 million and Ryan Yarbrough locked in at a few million more, the team is now sitting near a luxury tax projection of around $282 million. That is before addressing the rotation needs, before adding bullpen support, and definitely before adding Bellinger. Hal Steinbrenner has already made it clear that crossing the $300 million threshold is not a place he wants to be. So what does that mean? It means the Yankees are going to have to get creative. If Bellinger returns, they could consider trading Grisham. But there is a roadblock there because players who accept qualifying offers cannot be moved without permission before mid-June. That creates a bit of a puzzle for the front office. It forces them to map out every angle of the offseason before making the next call. But even while all of that was unfolding, the Yankees found themselves involved in another international headline, one that has the entire league on alert. The posting window for Japanese ace Tatsuya Imi officially opened, and suddenly the Yankees have a chance to pursue the kind of pitcher who can stabilize a rotation on day one. The timing could not be more perfect. The rotation is a mess heading into the new season. Garrett Cole is recovering from major surgery. Carlos Rodon is expected to open the season on the injured list. Clark Schmidt will not be returning anytime soon after his own surgery. That means Max Fried, Cam Schlittler, Luis Gil, Will Warren, and Alan Wines are the names projected for opening day. That is a group filled with talent, yes, but not enough stability for a team trying to make a championship push. IMI brings everything a team in that situation needs. He has put up elite numbers in Japan for 3 consecutive seasons with earned run averages barely breaking 2. His strikeout rate keeps rising, his walk rate keeps dropping, and he is in the prime age range that teams love. At 27 years old, turning 28 in May, he is just entering the ideal window for a long-term contract. Because of that, he will not come cheap, but he will also not command the astronomical numbers that someone like Yamamoto secured last year. Predictions place him around $150 million on a 6-year deal, and the posting fee owed to his team adds even more cost to the final bill. Even so, the Yankees cannot afford to ignore him. They need rotation help badly, and once the window narrows, the market will heat up quickly. Other options, like Lucas Giolito, cost far less, but come with health questions and lower upside. The Yankees know the kind of season they just had. They know what they are up against in the division. They cannot afford to go into another year relying entirely on hope and patchwork arms. That is why IMI is such a critical piece in the conversations happening behind closed doors. At the same time, the Yankees quietly made another move that did not dominate headlines, but absolutely matters for the early months of the season. Ryan Yarbrough is returning on a 1-year deal, and that gives the pitching staff a much-needed safety valve. His previous year in the Bronx was full of moments where he showed he could shift easily between starting and relieving, eating innings whenever the team needed coverage. His earned run average was in the mid-4 range, but his strikeout and walk rates were trending in the right direction, and his expected metrics were close to league norm. For a team missing multiple starters in April, May, and possibly June, that is the kind of arm you need in your back pocket. He does not fix the rotation, but he keeps it from crumbling while the front office works on the bigger moves. His contract is small enough that it does not affect any big-ticket pursuit, and the stability he offers is exactly what a team needs when navigating injuries this early in the offseason. Every year, teams talk about depth, but few actually secure it. The Yankees did, and they did it quickly. As the Yankees continue shaping their roster, the atmosphere around the Bronx is turning into a blend of urgency and ambition. Every decision they make from this point forward affects not just opening day, but the entire competitive arc of the 2026 season. The front office has already set the tone with the Grisham decision and the early move to keep Ryan Yarbrough, but the work is far from done. In fact, the next few weeks may determine whether this team enters the season as a contender or as a club still scrambling for answers. With the outfield picture shifting so dramatically, the conversations happening inside Yankee Stadium are growing more layered. Trent Grisham's return gives them an established center fielder who can hit for power and defend at a high level. But it also complicates the chase for Cody Bellinger, a player who transformed the lineup last season with his blend of left-handed thunder and strong defense. The Yankees say they can bring both back, and they are trying, but they are walking a tightrope. Every dollar matters now, and every signing changes the equation. The organization knows that if both players return, something else will have to give. The future of prospects who were once considered untouchable becomes less certain. A name like Jason Dominguez has been seen as the next homegrown star ready to explode onto the scene, but stacked depth charts can turn franchise plans upside down. It is not that the Yankees want to move him or Spencer Jones, but if a blockbuster deal becomes necessary to fortify the rotation or reinforce the infield, the value of those prospects becomes a powerful bargaining piece. This is the kind of balancing act the Yankees have faced for years, but rarely with stakes this high. They cannot waste prime years of their core hitters, and they cannot afford to trot out a decimated rotation and hope for the best. The need for aggressive action is real, and the front office knows it. While the outfield storyline becomes more tangled by the day, the posting of Tatsuya Imi has introduced a totally different layer of drama to the winter. The Yankees have chased top-tier international talent before, sometimes landing them, and sometimes watching them sign elsewhere. This time, the urgency is sharper, the need more pronounced. Imi is not a luxury. He is a lifeline for a rotation that is missing its ace, its number 2, and one of its most reliable arms from last season. Garrett Cole's recovery remains on schedule, but that timetable still rules him out of the early part of the year. Carlos Rodon's health has been unpredictable since the day he arrived, and another surgery does not inspire confidence. Clark Schmidt's procedure means he is months away from rejoining the club. That leaves the Yankees relying on Max Fried as an anchor, along with a mix of young pitchers and back-end depth options who simply cannot be expected to carry the load all spring. That is why IMI's numbers in Japan hold so much weight. Posting 3 consecutive seasons with earned run averages under 2.5 shows a level of consistency that translates across leagues. His strikeout rate, rising while his walk rate continues to fall, demonstrates refinement and control. At 27 years old, he has enough experience to handle pressure, but enough upside to grow even further. For a team trying to calm months of instability, that kind of stability becomes priceless. There will be competition for him, no doubt, and the price will be steep. But the Yankees understand the cost of not acting might be even worse. Letting a pitcher like this slip away could leave them patching their rotation with short-term fixes that do not move the needle. Yet even with the urgency surrounding the rotation, the Yankees' front office sees value in locking down players like Ryan Yarbrough early. While not a star, he fills an essential role. With so many innings lost to injury, managers need pitchers who can stretch outings, bridge games when starters struggle, and avoid overloading the bullpen in the early months. Yarbrough's ability to float between roles without complaint or inconsistency gives the Yankees a measure of protection. His previous season showed he could hold his own against tough lineups. And although his home run rate inflated some of his numbers, his underlying metrics showed a pitcher who still knows how to command the zone. Pitching depth is the one thing teams always say they need, but only a few collect in time. The Yankees cannot afford to wait until crisis hits. They need arms before the season begins, not after injuries pile up. As the Yankees juggle these decisions, the financial complexity becomes harder to ignore. The luxury tax estimate climbing toward $282 million puts them in a delicate position. If they add Bellinger and then pursue IMI, they will push dangerously close to the threshold that ownership insists is not sustainable. That means trades might become necessary not just to improve the roster, but to balance the books. The looming restriction on trading a qualifying offer recipient before mid-June complicates that even further. If they want the flexibility to reshape the roster sooner, they need to act rapidly and strategically. The front office is aware of this constraint, and while they will not admit it publicly, it forces them to prepare for multiple scenarios at once. At the same time, the fan base is waiting for a signal. Yankees supporters want to know whether the team is committed to going all in again or whether the organization will remain cautious as the payroll swells. They want to know whether this roster will finally be built around a combination of stars, depth, youth development, and durable pitching. And most importantly, they want to believe the team is ready to reclaim its identity as a powerhouse capable of contending from opening day to the final week of the season. Every winter brings optimism, but this one brings pressure, expectations, and a real need to correct the issues that dragged the Yankees down previously. The days ahead will be filled with meetings, negotiations, and difficult decisions. Each piece of news adds another layer to the shifting puzzle. As the hot stove continues to burn brighter in the Bronx, the Yankees' next move may be the one that defines the entire offseason. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Whispers are echoing through the Bronx, and it seems the Yankees might have just pulled off a move that could shake up the league for years to come. The buzz centers around Ellie De La Cruz, the electrifying young talent whose combination of speed, power, and raw athleticism has scouts and insiders buzzing with anticipation. Rumors suggest that the team has officially secured him, and fans are already imagining the possibilities when such a dynamic player takes the field in pinstripes. De La Cruz has been described by those who have followed his rise as a once-in-a-generation athlete, capable of turning a routine play into a highlight reel moment. Scouts are reportedly obsessed with his blend of explosive base running, strong arm, and the rare ability to hit for power while still maintaining remarkable speed. In an era where specialized skills often dominate, he represents the dream of a complete player, someone who can impact the game in multiple ways, from stealing bases to launching balls into the stands. The Bronx is no stranger to big names, But there's something about the chatter surrounding De La Cruz that feels electric. Conversations in locker rooms, whispers in the press box, and social media speculation all point to the idea that this could be the start of a new era for the Yankees. Analysts are already debating where he'll slot in the lineup, how his speed will change defensive alignments, and whether his presence might force opponents to rethink their strategies entirely. Rumors also suggest that the Yankees front office sees De La Cruz not just as a player, but as a marketing juggernaut, someone who can energize a fan base hungry for excitement. With his flashy style and undeniable athletic gifts, he's expected to bring a level of dynamism that makes every game feel like a must-watch event. Baseball insiders can hardly contain their excitement, speculating on how quickly he might make an impact and whether the Bronx faithful will get the thrill of witnessing history in the making. While nothing is confirmed on the field yet, the excitement is palpable. Every sprint, every swing, and every stolen base could become part of a narrative that fans and pundits will be talking about for years. The buzz is real. Ellie De La Cruz in pinstripes is no longer just a fantasy. It might just be the beginning of something unforgettable in the Bronx. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.